Simon.
Yes.
Our next segment is with Eric Dunn, our regular guest for this month, and Eric will be chatting. He's actually from Sydney North Primary Health Network, and he'll be chatting with a bit of a difference this month. Eric is going to introduce us to our guest Ilsa Bird about the Northern Beaches Dementia-Friendly Community Project. But first, how about we play a musical track for Eric's intro? Well, Eric, it's great to have you back in the studio.
And it's great to be here. Thank you.
And Ilsa, it's great to have you first time in our program called Snapchat.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Eric, could I ask you to introduce Ilsa?
Absolutely.
To our listeners, and maybe the two of you could start to chat about your program called the Northern Beaches Dementia-Friendly Community Project.
Certainly. Well, as you said, Ilsa's the chair of the Northern Beaches Dementia Alliance and the Dementia-Friendly Northern Beaches Project Manager at Your Side Australia. Mm-hmm. Ilsa's expertise includes dementia care and aged care as well as health education.
Yeah.
She's a Northern Beaches local and she's passionate about improving the lives of people with dementia. So Ilsa, welcome.
Thank you.
And could you tell us what are dementia-friendly communities?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. So Dementia-Friendly Communities is an initiative that was developed by Dementia Australia. So it's a community where people who are living with dementia are supported to live a high quality of life. It also means that their lives have meaning, purpose and value. So there are several projects that are happening all around Australia, including a project in Kiama in New South Wales in the Central Coast, as well as what we're doing in the Northern Beaches.
Okay, so can you tell me about the Northern Beaches Dementia-Friendly Community Project?
Absolutely, yeah. So the Dementia-Friendly Northern Beaches Project is currently funded by the Northern Beaches Council and was started by Your Side Australia in 2018. So last year, Your Side formed the Northern Beaches Dementia Alliance, which is a committee made up of local partners, people living with dementia and their carers, and we facilitate the project activities. So by creating a dementia-friendly community, we can support people living with dementia to live in their homes and communities for longer.
So what are the goals of the project?
Yeah, so the Dementia Alliance has three main goals. Firstly, to increase dementia awareness and reduce the stigma surrounding dementia. Secondly, to create opportunities for people living with dementia to participate socially in the community and reduce social isolation. And thirdly, to improve physical environments to create safer spaces for people living with dementia.
Oh, okay, that sounds fabulous.
Where are the safer spaces?
We're working on it.
in their own home, I take it.
Yeah.
So why are you doing this project?
So, look, we already know that we have a growing ageing population, but what people might not know is that 3 in 10 people over the age of 85 have dementia, and 1 in 10 over the age of 65 are living with dementia. So by the year 2058, the number of people who are living with dementia in the Northern Beaches is going to increase by roughly 150%. Wow. So these are our family members, they're our friends, they're our neighbours, and that's why we're doing this project.
That's amazing. So what sort of activities are you undertaking?
Yeah, so we have several activities that we're undertaking between 2018 and the next few years. So these include educating the local community as well as school students about dementia. We're working with local businesses to become dementia-friendly organisations, and we're facilitating an intergenerational music program between primary schools and local aged care providers.
Yes, I did the Dementia-Friendly course.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's very, very interesting and really eye-opening about what dementia is. And it's available online for just about anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone can complete that. It only takes 15 minutes. It's very simple.
And our organisation is working towards becoming a dementia-friendly organisation.
Yeah.
And the address?
Beg your pardon?
The address for that?
Is dementiafriendly.org.au.
Thank you.
And can you tell me a bit more about the intergenerational music program?
Yeah, sure. So the students begin by completing the education session. They become dementia friends. And then the school band or choir visit a local aged care facility and perform for the residents. But the most important part of the program is when students spend time with the residents over morning tea and they discuss music. So to date, we've completed the program with 3 local schools, and we've seen that students enjoy the program as much as the older adults do.
Are you able to mention the schools?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've done it with Seaforth Public School, we've done it with Avalon Public School and Terry Hills Public School.
Fantastic. So what are some of the benefits for the program, for students and older people?
Yeah, so there are lots of benefits for intergenerational experiences that incorporate music. So firstly, we know that intergenerational programs improve communication skills and self-esteem for students, and it also helps break down stereotypes around ageism. So during our last sessions, we've seen that students are really apprehensive to begin with, but over time they gain confidence in speaking with the residents. And we've witnessed even some students singing one-on-one for residents, which is so lovely to see. Secondly, we also know that music has numerous benefits for people living with dementia, including improved mood. So at one of our music sessions, we witnessed residents who were quite withdrawn. Some of them might have had mood issues. And following the performance, we witnessed the residents laughing and smiling when they were talking with the students, and really you could see their lifted mood. Thirdly, we have also seen that this experience is great for those who might be socially isolated, so those in residential care facilities, and it's a great way for them to be able to connect with the community. At one of our sessions, we had a Year 6 student who was able to meet his kindergarten buddy's great-grandmother. So the two were able to chat about some of the things that this Year 6 student did with his kindergarten buddy at school. So this is the kind of experience that someone in care wouldn't normally get to have because of that disconnect from the community.
Wow. So how can the community get involved or find out more?
Yeah, so there's lots of ways. First of all, doing that Dementia Friends session, which is only 15 minutes. Otherwise, we're looking for businesses, cafes, retailers who are looking to become dementia-friendly organisations. And if you'd like to find out more, you can look us up on Facebook, which is facebook.com/NBDFC, or you can go to our website, which is yourside.org.au/NBDFC.
Your Side, like YOURSIDE.
Correct, yes, your side.
Yes, not my side.
Not my side, your side.
So go on.
Well, I was going to say, I've really found it very interesting doing the education. And since doing it, I've been speaking to a few people about dementia and how it occurs for people. It's different for everyone. Or that's what I got. They're like, if you know 2 people with dementia, then you know 2 people with dementia. They're
Absolutely.
not necessarily the same.
Yeah, that's right.
But they become very constrained because they get very embarrassed about it's like they could be going through a checkout in a supermarket or whatever, and they can't work out their money.
That's right.
And it's like, well, what do you do if you can't do that? And it would be great if the supermarkets, for instance, had a sign up that said we're dementia friendly, because I can imagine that they would just go, well, I can't do this, so I'll just put the stuff back on the shelf and I'll leave.
Yeah, that was exactly one of the questions I was just going to ask you next. Like, how does an organisation become dementia friendly? And that is a true example, isn't it? By putting a sign up there. Or something.
Yeah, so we have toolkits that are available for local businesses that they can go through, which were developed by Dementia Australia.
Wonderful.
But really, one of the biggest things is education.
Yes.
Educating the staff, educating those on the checkouts clients who are working in the shops. And it can be something as simple as just doing that 15-minute session, which changes your perspective and gives you a little bit of information about how you can communicate effectively and respectfully with someone living with dementia.
I did that session this morning before coming here.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's awesome. But I did realise that there are a lot of people who suffer those issues, even though they're not necessarily classed as having dementia.
Yeah, absolutely.
My mother, before she passed away, was in a similar state for about 2 years because she had a very poor performing heart. So she didn't have dementia, but she struggled with oxygen to the brain.
Yep.
So she's often finding things challenging, and then she'd get frustrated, as you said, because she wasn't as efficient as she was when she was younger, and that was part of it. She knew what she was like and what she is now, and that led to that frustration.
It's very difficult.
Yes, and I think that's the thing with the dementia-friendly community. If we can make some of these changes, it's not only going to be beneficial for people living with dementia, it's beneficial for people who have disability, or even just older people in general, mothers who have children with autism. Those kind of safe spaces and education is really helpful for the whole community.
So what else can the businesses do to be helpful, and also for people to know that the businesses are helpful? I mean, signage is one thing, but signs don't mean a lot of things to a lot of people as well. So one of the things that they can do is undertake an audit of their physical space and have a look at things like lighting, signage, even things like carpet or visual stimulation, auditory stimulation, and reduce some of those things to make it more dementia friendly. So in the business toolkit that we have available, it has an audit form, so they can go through that and have a look at some of the changes that are very, very easy to make for businesses. What about shops where they have those point-of-sale machines which no longer has an operator, they just expect people to go through?
Yeah.
Are you finding that's difficult for people with dementia?
Yeah, look, it would be, because obviously, dementia affects not only memory but our physical functioning as well. So it can be difficult for someone who's living with dementia if there's no signs or instructions how to operate something like that. Our suggestion would be to have someone available who is there to help, and also make it very obvious that they're there to help. I've been into shops before where they've had T-shirts and it says, "I'm here to help." That's probably one of the best things that you can have, because they're able to recognise where they can go and ask for help. Sometimes they don't want people hovering over them to make sure that they're okay, but if they do need help, it's great to have that option there.
It's a wonderful way of presenting to an organisation these sort of alternatives that they can actually put into practice.
Yeah.
And I think it's just a brilliant, brilliant project. And I imagine a lot of organisations want to be part of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you broadcast it. And I guess one of the ways is coming on radio with us.
Yeah.
And I'm part of an organisation that I'd love to introduce it to our organisation, because we deal with a lot of seniors.
Yeah, right.
And we can see that they're starting to lose their ability to do a lot of things, and that's maybe also through dementia, or it may be what Simon said, breathing, the heart failing or whatever. So maybe we could have a chat. A lot of different reasons why people just can't function the way they normally have. And as you said, the percentage of seniors over 65
it's going to increase.
It's going to increase,
That's
yes.
right.
We have an ageing population.
That's right. And even if it's not dementia, our memory's impacted by age anyway. Our brain's impacted by age. So even if we can do things that can support all of that age group, I think it's a great thing to do.
Yeah. But like Simon mentioned, that maybe signs aren't just the answer only, but if we could just speak to people like yourselves for this project, the different organisations, to know how we can introduce it into our organisations so that people with these disabilities can function normally
And look, the best source of information is the people living with dementia themselves. We have people who are living with dementia that we work with and ask them what they want and how they want us to do things. That's the absolute best source of information. So we can go to them and say, what do you need? How can we fix this situation for you? What are the problems that you're facing?
And it's good that children are being introduced to it as well, because for children, they're around other young children at school, their parents are usually youngish, which means they just see people who are in typically a fit state of health. And so it seems like, well, what are these old people? Why do we have to deal with them?
Yeah.
And especially because young people are still learning about the world. So it's great that they can learn about the world at school and not just after they leave school as well.
Yeah, the kids are so open to it as well. Being children are quite open. And I guess we want to educate them because a lot of them are going to either know somebody now or they will eventually know somebody. It could be their own parent that develops dementia in the future. So, we know that number's increasing and we want to educate as many people as we possibly can.
With Dementia-Friendly Home, I had one friend years ago had to put a husband into care because she would go to work, but she couldn't trust him to stay at home. Not so much with looking after himself, but when it came to cooking food, he'd frequently put the stove on, it was a gas stove, and then walk away and forget about it. And she got worried for the house and some of the other children. How do you make a house dementia friendly? Is there much modification or?
Look, not really. There is actually a mobile phone application which is wonderful. It's like a virtual reality experience, and you can go into each of the rooms and click on particular objects or areas of the room, and it tells you what the issue is in terms of it being undementia friendly, and then what you can do to fix that problem. So, for example, one of the things is having, instead of having a gas stove because there's a flame, have something like induction. So that's just one way. But even having signage in your own home, because they may not necessarily, we do have a change in memory function, they may not remember where the bathroom is. So even just having a sign that has an image and the words as well to say toilet, and then that helps with recognition for that room.
So that would be a carer who'd use that app, because the people themselves probably struggle. I would say. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Yeah. But then also, like I said before, talk to the person and see what they need and what the problems are that they're facing. It could be something like labelling the clothes in the drawers to help them get dressed. Yeah.
Okay.
So there we go.
Okay, that's great. I'm so pleased, Ilsa. So, Eric, I'm just wanting to know, will you be available next month for another guest or I think this is a great idea. I don't know whether Ilsa is aware of this, but Eric's decided that his organisation, or he will introduce a number of different people once a month that he thinks that our listeners...
Yes, we do so many things at the Primary Health Network around primary health and supporting primary health. And, I'm going to try and get someone from each of our areas to come in every month with me, and we'll find out what's going on. And fortunately, this month it was Ilsa.
That's magic. Thank you so much, Eric.
I'd love to come back next month.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. So...